Hello and welcome to the Sheesh podcast. My name is Chloe.
And my name is Millie.
And this is the podcast where we rank everything sheesh, aka whether we love or hate it.
Oh, have you had a very sheeshy week, Chloe? Or not?
It's been okay so far. It's just very warm. I've been complaining, I feel like every day, how warm it is.
Nah, everyone around me has also been doing the same. Like, people are struggling to sleep. We've had to put a fan on. I don't really like having the fan on because it creates noise, but at this point I'm, like, used to it, so I can sleep, so it's fine. But, yeah, it's a tad bit warm. But I was saying at work yesterday that you guys need to have bad weather here, so while I'm on holiday, I feel special. And it's like, trust me to book a summer holiday in a place where it's probably colder there than it is here.
I know, it's horrible when like you go away and then it's like just as hot as home. You're like, I wanted to escape the bad weather.
I know. But yeah.
What day are you off?
I am flying on Friday, so
nice.
Should be good. Yeah, going from a airport nearby, so don't have to travel down anywhere.
That's good.
And yeah, I'm excited. Although I'm not packed yet. I'm a pre-packer. I plan in advance. Like, the fact that I go on holiday in a few days and my suitcase is just on the floor in the landing with just everything thrown into it is very stressful for me. But I just got so much going on this week.
Yeah. I don't plan that far ahead with packing because like there's a lot of stuff you want at home.
Yeah, you've got
especially if it's like summer now and you go into a summery place, you want like your summer clothes while you're at home, so
yeah, it's tricky. But yeah, because of that, this episode might be slightly shorter than usual because I got to find time to edit it before I go. And then this is the last podcast episode I'll ever do at the age of 22 because when I come back I'll be 23.
Damn. Oh, are you looking forward to like being away on your birthday?
I don't know, like I feel like it'll probably just feel, I don't know really. We don't have anything planned while we're out there yet. We're gonna make it up as we go along and just like decide on the day. So yeah, I think it'll be fun. I haven't really thought about it very much. Like I've been so busy in other things, I haven't deeped my birthday quite yet. But 10 and 23, it's not as cool as 22 or 21. But yeah, so that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of topics, you intro, do you want me to start with me first?
Yeah, and then that kind of links to mine in a way, so I guess.
Oh, true, because
we can do it that way.
Yeah, it does link. Nice. Got a nice segue planned. And we were laughing beforehand. I posted on Twitter, and I know we spoke about it last episode, but the difference in notes is real right now. I have 4 words on my notes, one of which is a letter, and Chloe literally has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Literally like 12 bullet points.
That's less than usual, though.
True.
I feel like I'd cut down this week.
Yeah, I was like, we got to keep it short. And mine is 4 words. But anyway, the first thing I'm going to talk about is Tenacious D, because Alex and I went to the O2 at the weekend that's just passed to, go to a Tenacious D concert. It was actually really good. Alex is the Tenacious D fan. Like, I've grown up knowing them, obviously, because 1, Jack Back, 2, the song Tribute, like the best song in the world. So that's kind of always been there as I've grown up. Alex knew the words to every song, and we've never been somewhere where Alex has been the one to choose the artist. That's not because I refuse to go, but that's just because Alex doesn't. If Alex knows like 2 songs, he won't go to a concert like himself. Whereas I'll be like, oh, I'll go. So he only chooses to go to concerts where he actually like knows all the songs and stuff. So this is the first time this has come up.
It's usually you dragging him to something. Like,
yeah.
Come with me.
I know. We do have another one for him later in the year. Oh my gosh, I can't even speak. Later in the year though. But yeah, basically we went to the O2. It was our first time in the O2 as well. The actual O2 is huge, but I was surprised at how, I mean, it's big, but it's not as big as I thought it was, the actual arena space. Have you been to the O2 before, Chloe?
Yes, I went to see Muse there quite a few years ago now.
Oh, nice. Do you know what I mean?
Quite high up.
Yeah, it's high up, but the actual space is small. Like, even though I wasn't stood near, like, necessarily the front, I still had, like, a good view. It felt comfy. Like, I was worried that I was going to get attacked by, like, mosh pits or whatever. If a mosh pit happened, I didn't see it. I was not threatened at any point, except one of the people next to us fully lit a cigarette and started smoking. I was so confused. Like, I understand why people try to get away with vaping, but I don't know, maybe I'm just ignorant to it all, but literally full-on smoking in an arena inside. I was so confused. I was like, what are you doing?
Like, can you not wait until the end of the concert? Like...
Yeah. Like, vaping's bad enough, but it's not as bad as smoking. But anyway, that's not what I'm ranking. It was amazing, actually. Like, they put on a show. The support act was steel beams, and we thought it was going to be a band, but then one man came out and we were like, okay. And then
I've never heard that.
Yeah, and then he sat down and we were like, okay, when the others, no one else came out. My guy played the drums, the guitar, the keyboard, and sang at the same time on his own. We were like, oh my god, what? But he had it set up so, like, when he'd strum the guitar, he'd be able to hit the drum, and then he was with his other hand playing the piano, like, keyboard, and then he was singing. I was like, oh my god. It was like an old guy. He was great.
I'm trying to, like, visualize it, like,
I know
what he's holding.
I'll find a video. Alex took a video of him. But yeah, that was well impressive. And then Tenacious D, if you don't know, it's Jack Black and his name's Kyle. I can't remember what his second name is.
Kyle.
Yeah, good old Kyle.
I just know it's Kyle.
Yeah. So it's the two of them, and they put on a right show. They would link what they were talking about in between songs to the actual song. At one point, Jack Black was like, guys, I've rocked too hard, and he just went and laid on the floor at the side of the stage, and then Kyle sang, and then in the chorus he'd jump up and come sing the chorus and then go lie back down. They had a huge devil that appeared. They sang tribute in the middle of the set, not the end. So when it came on, I was like, oh my god, it's my time. I know a song. Yeah. So yeah, there was a huge devil at the back. They then brought out, I think it's called Metal, and it's like, it was obviously a guy in a huge, like, suit. So they kind of played around with that. They were dancing. At one point, Jack was like, Kyle, come here away from the mic because I want to talk to you. And Kyle came back and he was like, I'm quitting the band. And then they played the song that's like, I miss you, or I can't remember which one it was. But I actually knew one other song. It's a short one. It's their video games one.
Yeah.
I play video game. Like, why do I recognise that? I feel like I've seen it on Instagram or something.
You posted it on our Instagram.
Oh, that's where it was from!
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, oh yeah, you did it on our Instagram, and I was like, yeah, it's good song choice.
I was like...
about our tier list of video games.
There we go. I was like, oh my god, Alex, I recognise this song. Like, I know the words, and it's because it's from that, me watching it back. I'm glad you remembered, because I was like, I swear I've seen it on Instagram. But there we go. But yeah, had an amazing time, and that was the first show, like, concert I've ever been to where I've not been there at doors open. I'm glad I didn't, because, like, usually I'm like, oh my god, doors open at 6:30, you got to be there. But
yeah.
We were standing, and I was not ready to stand and wait from 6:30 till the support act came on at like 8:39. So yeah, glad we didn't do that. But yeah, that is the short thing. Tenacious D was great. The rest of the trip, so we had a trip down to London, I'll talk about in my next topic. But this links quite well because the day after, well, Chloe's not about to talk about the day after, but there was a lot of concerts going on in London. You had Tenacious D, Harry Styles fans, and this is where you segue to your topic, Chloe.
Oh, I thought you meant in London. I was like, oh,
yeah, the Arctic Monkeys played in London on the Saturday.
Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry.
Sorry. Well, I attempted the segue and it failed. But there we go, Chloe. Go wild.
Oh, you haven't rated Tenacious D.
Oh my gosh, yes. I forgot the whole premise of this podcast. I will rate Tenacious D 3. To be honest, like, I didn't know the words, so I feel like I can't put it higher than 3. But the idea of it being a show was great, and seeing Jack Black in the flesh, I was like,
yeah,
actually, like, it was so cool. Steel Beams was cool. I'll rank it a high 3. Sheesh.
I think that was pretty solid.
Hey, there we go. Right.
Yeah, I didn't realise Arctic Monkeys played in London.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Well, I knew they played in London, but I didn't realise it was the after, and like, I didn't get to see them in London because it's a pretty long journey for me. But yeah, I also went to a concert during the week before, which was the Monday, and yes, it was Arctic Monkeys, and that was in the Swansea Stadium, which I've only ever been to once, and that was to see JLS, which was obviously like
God.
10 years ago. So yeah, I kind of recognise a little bit of it, but I don't know if they've changed it or I don't know. But yeah, we went to Swansea like straight from work, and it was a really hot day. We were still in like the kind of, it's still warm now, but it was kind of the height of the heat wave we were having. So I was a bit worried because I thought it was going to be really hot inside, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be really like sweaty. But yeah, we went to kind of like a food village bit outside first, where they charged like, it was £8 for a cheeseburger.
Oh, that's like festival prices.
Yeah, you could tell they were going for that, and like, you know, people are gonna pay it because like, you know, everyone's come probably straight from work. They're like, they need something to eat before they go in.
Yeah.
People stocking up on drinks.
Speaking of food, sorry, finish the food bit first.
And I say the drinks were like £7 a pint. My dad and Jordan had one. I was like, oh my god, I'm not paying that. But I had to then pay like, was like £3 or £4 for like a bottle of Fanta. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I paid £3.50 for a bottle of water in
the
O2. And speaking of like food, really quickly, I thought like the men's sides were in the O2, but I couldn't find them.
Oh,
but I thought they were there. I mean, I didn't look fully, but I just couldn't see any signs or anything. So maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, keep going.
So yeah, we had some food outside, and that was when it was really hot, and we got there about, I want to say like 5ish, just kind of around when doors opened, but we didn't want to go in quite yet, even though we were seating. We kind of sat around, we sat around outside for a bit first because Jordan's cousin and her boyfriend came as well. So we chatted. So we chatted to them for a bit, and then the first support acts were on about 6:30, so we went in then, and yeah, we were seated. We were quite, I don't know how to describe a football stadium, because like my dad could describe it to someone else. He was like, oh, the away end in like comparing it to like the Cardiff Stadium, but I can't do that. We were kind of towards the back, and it was like the left-hand side of the stage from our kind of position.
I've never sat before. Like, I will have to at some point just to experience it, but yeah, I've never sat at a concert.
Really?
Yeah, like I've only ever chosen to stand, but like I feel like sitting is like, you'll always have a set place, whereas it'll be less stressful than standing where it's like, oh my god, I can't see.
Yeah, well that's the thing, as a short gal, like I have to be either at the very front so I can see.
Yeah.
Otherwise there's no point in me standing because I just can't see a thing, and you'll guarantee the tallest man and woman, like a couple, it's happened to me before, like the tallest couple will come and stand right in front of me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? So yeah, when you go to like a big stadium show, I do usually choose seating, especially if I'm going like with like family as well. If I go with my mum and dad, like they probably want to sit. So
true. I've never been to a concert with my family before, so or any adult. Wait, we're adults. I mean, older adults.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually go to my dad's concerts, and we do like standing. Like if we go to like Motorpoint in Cardiff, I think that's usually all standing except like the boxes and things, which are obviously going to be expensive. But yeah, we had a nice little seated bit, which I thought at first we were going to get there's kind of a big like lighting rig kind of towards the middle of the standing bit, and I thought oh my gosh, that's going to like completely obscure our view, but luckily it didn't. We were sat kind of to the left of it.
That's good.
Yeah, the first support were called the Mysterines, which my dad reckons we've seen before supporting someone, and we weren't sure who, because we kind of recognised the name, but we didn't know who. And then the Hives, they're amazing. We've seen them at a festival before. I think I want to say he's Swedish or something like that.
I've not heard of either of these before.
Oh, you might have heard of the Hives, like some of their biggest songs, like on adverts and stuff. But yeah, they were amazing. Like they have such good like stage presence. But yeah, there was a woman in front of us texting, and I kind of just saw her phone, and she was texting her friend, and was like, oh, the support's been like so shit, and like, oh, there's so much waiting around. And I was like, have you never been to a concert? You like, if you're sat down before the band comes on, like you're gonna have to watch the support acts. Like I don't know what she expected, and they weren't shit. I was like, if you like Arctic Monkeys music, you're probably gonna like the support. It was weird. I was like, I don't know why you're here.
Leave.
Yeah. Then the actual band came on probably like, what time would it have been?
Like 9, half 9.
Yeah, 9:30. And they were really good. Like I've never seen Arctic Monkeys before. And I'm not like the biggest fan of them. I don't know like all of their songs.
What's their most popular song?
Probably anything from AM.
I obviously know who the Arctic Monkeys are, and I recognise their album cover, but I cannot think of a single Arctic Monkeys song in my head.
Or like Are You Mine? Do I Want to Know? That's like kind of their biggest songs from that album. You know, the black cover with the whites, kind of like...
Yeah, the squiggles.
Yeah.
I recognise the cover, but I can't in my head think of an Arctic Monkeys song. I saw a meme and was like, I've just heard someone call Arctic Monkeys dad music.
Yeah, Peter tagged me in it. I was like, that's literally my music. But yeah, AM at the time was like... It was like, yeah, one of the biggest albums in terms of a lot of the like a younger audience. There was a lot of kind of girls getting into them, and there was kind of a meme about what girls were wearing. Like they'd have like around the time, I don't even know when it came out. I want to say like 2013 maybe.
Gosh, 10 years.
I don't even know. There was like a whole Tumblr kind of aesthetic around that time and like around that album.
I saw on Twitter it's like which was the same for us, but like Harry Styles fans versus Arctic Monkeys fans dress up.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like that. So like everyone was wearing, you could like play Spot the Black Converse, Spot the Doc Martens, like the leather jackets. But yeah, they played a good range of songs, to be fair. There was like a couple from the new album, which I know a lot of people haven't liked their like last 2 albums. But the ones they did play, I thought they played really well. And they played Body Paint, which is like, I think it's one of their better ones from this new album. Like right before the encore, and they did kind of an extended version away, like with a lot of instrumental, so that was really good. And then they played a lot from, well, quite a few from AM, which is the album just talking about, but literally every time an AM song came on, or like say I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor is one of their bigger ones, like every time a bigger one came on or an AM song came on, these teenage girls behind us would like scream. Everyone in front of us stood up, so like we had to stand up because otherwise we wouldn't be able to see it. And I like standing up, like even when I get seated, I usually stay standing. Like I've been to see Foo Fighters in a stadium concert. We were seated, but I think I stood for the whole thing, because you kind of like vibe in the seated bits as well.
Yeah, it's nice to have the option to sit down.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Especially if it's like quite a slow song and you know it's not one you're going to be like bouncing around to.
Yeah.
It's quite nice to take a seat for that. But yeah, it was just a really weird concert in terms of, I've never been to one where it's so obvious that there are a lot of people who only know their big songs. I'm not saying that's not me either. And I'm not saying you can't go to a concert if you don't know all their songs either.
A lot of me at Tenacious
did. Yeah, like it was just kind of something I picked up on, and I was like, this is kind of weird. And I expected more people in the standing to kind of be jumping around and stuff. But even the people in the standing, where it wasn't like I didn't see any mosh pits, and I would have been able to see some from where I was. But yeah, I don't know if that was just
music is dead, guys.
Yeah, it's like it's only the viral songs.
Yeah, people only watch the concerts through their phones.
Yeah, oh my gosh, there was, like, I remember, I'm pulling out my phone as well, so I'm not saying, like, it's a bad thing, but I just remember, like, yeah, a certain song would come on, and it was just, you could see the lights from everyone's phones just, like, come out. It was like, oh my god. Yeah, it was just, it was really good. Like, they were amazing. Like, he sounded pretty much like the albums. Like, he's a very good voice and like really talented. Yeah, he does this thing as well. Alex Turner, who's the front man, he like sings the songs slightly differently. Like, he'll sing a bit slower. So like you're trying to sing along, but he's like singing it to a different beat, and like everyone's like singing out of tune. I think he does it just to troll, but it's quite funny. But yeah, I feel like it's just the first concert I've been to where I've been like, oh, there's not many like huge fans here. Like,
yeah,
I can imagine, say like Sophie, when we were talking to her, she was like, oh, I would have been like in the standing, like, you know, going wild. And yeah, I didn't really see that as much, and I don't know if it's just maybe the people who were going in Swansea weren't as, weren't as big fans, and maybe the northern crowds would have gone a bit crazier because they're from, I think they're from Sheffield, if I'm correct.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so his voice used to be very northern in his first couple of albums, but I feel like not as much now.
And he killed his personality.
No, that's another thing I did want to quickly say before I end. He didn't really have much audience interaction. Whereas like even the highest beforehand, he had more participation with the audience than like him.
That's awkward.
Which, like, he'd say Swansea a couple of times, she'd be like, woo! And like would say like little things in between, like, oh, that was beautiful, when like everyone got their lights out for like the summer songs.
Actually, on that, Tenacious did the light thing, but on the thing, Jack accidentally called Wales a town.
Oh no, Jack Black! I'm gonna tell Jordan, his heart will be broken.
It was like, I don't think it was on purpose. He was like making like a rhyming thing. So he was like, oh, where you going out tonight? Like, we're going out, like, or something like that. So he was saying, oh, go to the town. So I don't think it was on purpose. He wasn't like, oh, I visited this town called Wales. I think he was just trying to rhyme it, and then his brain probably didn't work faster than his mouth. But it was a bit like, oof. Like, oh.
Ouch.
Yeah. Anyway, thought I'd let you know.
No, it was good to know. Jordan's very jealous. We saw Tenacious D.
Aw. He should have come with us.
I know. I don't know why we didn't really think to get to... What day was it on? Was it on a Friday?
Yeah, it was on Friday evening. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been awkward to get up, to be honest, because we can't take time off, so...
True, yeah.
But yeah, I think, like... In terms of the band, their performance, I think they're like a 4 Sheesh. But I've said kind of the overall experience is probably like a 3, just because they're not like one of my favourite bands of all time. They're kind of a band that I wanted to see. I'm trying to get through like every band on like my Spotify playlist before I die. So I thought that was a good one to tick off. And like they'd put on a really good show. And it was good to see the Hives again, and the Mystery's really good. But yeah, that was my concert experience.
Hey, look at us going to concerts.
I know, look at us leaving the house.
Yeah.
Social.
Speaking of leaving the house, so yeah, we went down to London for Tenacious D, but obviously we had 2 full days there. We stayed one night and did 2 full days. So one of the things we did when we were down there is I finally visited the Gymshark store.
Nice.
Yeah, Gymshark has its like permanent store on Regent Street, so we were going into a few shops there and looking around. But yeah, so I went to the Gymshark store. I unfortunately didn't get to take part. They do free classes there all the time throughout the week. I didn't get to do any of them, unfortunately. It's a really cool concept. It's like a kind of next level, not usual shop. There was no like payment desk, like till area. You had to just find a member of staff and be like, can I buy this, please?
That's really weird.
So I actually didn't buy anything. Alex did. Alex ended up buying 2 things, so converted him. But yeah, I didn't buy anything. I own a lot of Gymshark as it is, but it was nice to look at some of their new pieces. I did want to buy something, but I was like, okay, it's £55, let me not.
What was it?
It was their new, I can't remember what it's called. It's like the one where people were like, nobody would wear this to the gym. It's got the shoulders cut out. Like, when you've got the gym at 6 but a rave at 10 or something.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, I wanted it, but yeah, I wasn't paying that amount.
No.
But it's cool. They've got like a Joe and Juice in there. But yeah, so I guess I didn't really get to experience the more interactive parts of the classes and things. But otherwise, as a store, it's kind of like a next level, almost like innovative store. So I mean, I've just voted 2. At the end of the day, like, I had fun and it was nice, but I didn't buy anything. The concept is like much higher sheesh wise, but yeah, I was in and out within like half an hour, so you know, I'll give it a 2 rating. But then, for the sake of me trying to make my topic slightly longer, we also visited Camden, Covent Garden, went to, so apparently I didn't know it was what's the King's birthday thing, Troop Colours, that thing, on the Saturday. But so we could have gone and saw that, but I didn't know that was on. And so we were walking down the Royal Mile and they were clearing it all up, and I was like, oh, was there a sporting event on or something? I asked one of the workers and they just looked at me and they were like, no, it was a parade for the King's birthday. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to know that?
No, we're not from London.
So, yeah. But then, yeah, we just went to the shops beforehand, ate Wagamama. I got given the biggest portion of Wagamama I've ever had in my entire life. It was slightly more expensive than usual, but it was so worth it. Best Wagamama I've ever had. So thank you, Canary Wharf. But yeah, that's kind of a very, very quick run through of my weekend. But I will hand over to Chloe for her last topic.
Yeah, so I've gone with a TV show this week.
Which I've never heard of, which isn't regular.
Yeah, Millie hasn't heard of it, so it's quite good that I'll get to kind of explain to you guys listening as well. Yeah, me and Jordan have just finished watching Shadow and Bone Season 2. So the first season came out, I want to say like a year ago now. I think we watched it in this house, so it can't be more than 2 years.
Is it a cartoon?
No. So it's based on like a fantasy book series. Yeah, live action. It's kind of like all the main actors are like British. I don't know in the books if they're all British or it's just they've decided they're going to hire like all British actors. But kind of the basic summary is kind of the world. So there's these people called Grisha who have kind of magic powers, and they're all to do with different elements. So kind of like Avatar: Last Airbender in a way.
I've not seen that either. Obviously, I know what it is, but
what?
I haven't seen it. I think they used to play it on Avatar. Nickelodeon, didn't they?
Yeah, like it's a kids show, but it's so good.
You just lost your trail of...
No, you didn't say anything back, so I was like, I was checking I hadn't cut off.
Oh no, sorry, I was just like, I nodded and then...
Oh, I can't see you nodding.
Oh no, continue, sorry.
But yeah, so it's similar to that. If you guys have seen it, you should, if you haven't. But the entire world is like split in half by this thing called the Fold, which is like kind of like a big shadowy area with these creatures in it, called the Volcra, like kind of like flying creatures, and basically people can't pass through there easily, so the whole kind of country is like split in half.
Like Game of Thrones Beyond the Wall.
Yeah, in a way it is a bit like that. And yeah, all the different areas are kind of, so there's like an area where I think it's kind of meant to be kind of like Asian. So I feel like the different areas, I haven't read the book, so I don't know too much more, but they're kind of like similar to the countries in, you know, in our world, but like they're just kind of closer together. And,
yeah.
It has its own map and things. But our main character, Alina, is what is called a sun summoner. She's like a special creature, so she has extra magic powers, which are like, I don't know what they're kind of meant to be. Kind of just like light, I guess, is her kind of element.
Light.
Yeah, like I don't know
She's
how to describe it.
Girl.
She just like explodes light, and it can be like really dangerous. That's kind of what happened in season 1. She found out that she was the sun summoner, which is kind of like I guess like a fantasy story in their world as well, like kind of like a prophecy. You know, you see quite a lot in fantasy.
Is this on like Netflix or something?
Yeah, it's a Netflix show. So I'm surprised they're actually doing season 2 and they didn't cancel it after season 1.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this is season 3. So she wants to tear this fold down to kind of reunite the country. But this fold was actually put up by who ended up being kind of the villain at the end of season 1, called Kirigan, who's played by Ben Barnes. If you know, he played like Prince Caspian in the Narnia series. Well, he's been in other things, but that's what I know him from. You'll recognise him if you Google him.
Okay.
He's a British actor. So that's kind of the focus of season 2. She wants to take this fold down, which was put up by him. But she's got to do this. She's got to find these 2 creatures. In the first season, she found a stag, and like it like amplified her powers. She has a piece of the stag like in her hand, like fused in her. So they're like, right, we've got to find these 2 more, which are a sea whip, which is like a kind of like a serpent-y kind of thing, and then a firebird. So that's kind of what her journey is. But there's a second half, kind of a second group of characters called the Crows, who they're my favourite. So they kind of live in like this, I don't know how to describe the town. It's like a boat, it's like near the harbour, but it's kind of like a bit rough and like seedy. There's like there's like brothels and things.
It's like Game of Thrones.
Within
the walls, or outside of the walls of whatever it's called.
It definitely takes inspiration. So yeah, they're my favourite, and they're trying to take down this guy called Pekka Rollins, who kind of rules that kind of area and has all gangs in that area. But one of the main crows, Kaz, has kind of some beef with him, which you learn about. I don't want to spoil it too much, so I'll just say he has beef. Then eventually they get hired to search for this like knife, which is kind of from legends. They don't know if it's real, but it's the only thing that will help take down Kirigan, who's, like I said, the bad guy. He's got like these shadow monsters. So they kind of then bring the 2 sets of characters together, which I thought was quite nice, to see them interact. Yeah, definitely for the Crows. And there's like this guy called Jesper, he's one of my faves. He's really funny, and he's got a relationship with this, like, he was like a stable boy. So they have some LGBTQ plus relationships in there as well, which is nice to see. So some good representation, and there's a lot of kind of, it's not a very whitewashed cast, which is quite refreshing to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was quite nice, and there's a lot of kind of subplots as well, so you kind of get to know the characters better. Like we saw a lot of Kaz this season, a lot of flashbacks and things, to see why he is the way he is, which is quite nice. And there was a plot twist which I didn't see coming. When I watch shows, I don't like to think too far ahead. I don't like to spoil things for myself. I hate spoilers. But I think Jordan kind of plopped onto it, but I was like, I don't like to do that.
Let me live in the moment.
Yeah. But it was, I would say, there's a lot of, kind of like most fantasy things, they have their own kind of language and their own words for some things. And
right.
Since it's been a while since we saw the first season, even though we watched a recap, you kind of have to remind yourself, what does that mean again? And like,
they're just gatekeeping themselves.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I was just trying to remember, and I was like, I didn't know if they were using too many of them or it was just because I haven't seen like the first season for a while. But Jordan also thinks the acting is very GCSE drama, is the way he describes it.
Did you? I'm assuming you did not do GCSE drama.
No.
No.
Like,
did Jordan?
Classic, like, no, he didn't.
Oh, I did GCSE drama.
Oh, you did? You have to watch it and see if you agree. I don't think it's too bad. Like, I don't know. He thinks Alina's not a very good actress. So.
Isn't she like the main one?
Yeah, she's like the main character.
Oh God.
Like, I thought she was fine. Like, I guess she has a lot of kind of crying scenes, like dramatic scenes. I don't know. Jordan just thought they were bad. But the CGI is also pretty terrible too. Oh
God, worse than like Star Wars CGI.
Oh yeah, definitely. Obviously they don't have a very big budget, I guess.
Damn it, Netflix.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's hard to rate it because like I do actually really enjoy it, but like when I think about other series, like I think about Game of Thrones or like I don't know, I really like The Walking Dead, like some of my favourite shows.
That's okay, you don't have to compare. I'm going to rank Riverdale when it finishes, and I'm going to rank it highly, so, you know.
Yeah. But I feel like I want to go for, like, a 2.5 sheesh, but we can't do that, so I'll say, like you said, like a high 3. I think I'll say, like, a high 2 sheesh.
Yeah. A shesh.
Like, I really enjoy it, but it's just, yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, like it's just not as good as other things I've watched. And when Jordan's like, you know, when like someone gets in your head when they say something's bad, you're like, oh, maybe it is. Like, you know what I mean?
And it kind of like removes the rose tinted glasses.
Yeah, and I do agree. There was some things which they kind of like. They mentioned something like someone's actually. I don't want to spoil it too much, but someone turns out to be they're actually a magic person. To put it short, and it kind of just happened so quickly. There was no kind of build up.
Yeah,
and I don't remember them building up to it in the season 1 as well. It just happened in like, I feel like it was like the first episode, and I was like, oh, okay,
fair enough. Like this is
yeah. I was like, oh, yeah. No, I think there's like romance in it as well. You love a good romance.
I do.
So I think it is worth a watch. It's just. You don't go in expecting amazing things, and like maybe if you read the books you might enjoy it a bit more, or maybe it'd be the other way around, you're a bit like critiquing it. I don't know.
Yeah, you've ruined my favourite book series.
Yeah, but it makes me want to read the books, so I think the concepts are good, but it's not particularly unique, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you said, you were like, oh, this sounds like Game of Thrones. Like it does sound like a lot of other fantasy stuff, or like Avatar with like the magic powers, but yeah, it has like classic, you know, it has their own names for it and stuff, which is you'll see in a lot of fantasy. But yeah, I'm gonna have to say a 2 sheesh. I think it's worth a watch if you're looking for something to watch, but
yeah,
don't expect the next kind of Game of Thrones level, which is fair enough when they have a considerably smaller budget, I imagine.
Yeah. Oh.
But, yeah, I'm interested to see if they will carry on with it, because you know what Netflix are like.
Yeah, cancelling everything. Hey, well there we go. There are our topics for today. I guess that means it's time for the memes. I don't know if you want to go first with your meme, Chloe.
Yeah, sure. So my meme this week is something I sent to my brother, because like it's so like relatable if you're an older sibling. So I have 3 older siblings, but they're like older than me, so we never really lived together. So this was.
Oh, so you're the younger sibling. Oh, I'm the older one.
Oh no, yeah. In this meme, I am the older. In terms of like me and my brother, that's what I was saying. Like my 3 older siblings never really lived with me. My sister did for a bit, but they're a lot older, so we didn't get this. Like I still feel like the older sibling in terms of like my household.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's like my younger brother. Yeah, the meme's all about like, you know, you're trying to press the Wii remote first to get that player 1, like the hand one, which that was the same for me, like playing PlayStation. I would always be player 1.
Yeah,
it's just a cheeky meme about that. It's like, no, wait, I've got to do something. That was me. I was like, wait, I've got to press the button first. Stop.
Oh yeah, I'm watching it. Please.
Yeah, that was just relatable. I think maybe some of you guys will relate as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just with anyone arguing over who's player one. Like, don't press A yet.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I struggled for a meme because basically everything I consume is regarding the F1, but I refuse to bring the F1 to this podcast. So my one is that people have been memeing. Grimes posted a picture about like getting a tattoo, so everyone's been quote retweeting it with their tattoos, but obviously Grimes meant it seriously, and they've been quote retweeting with their non-serious tattoos. And this one, I'm like, why have I not thought to get this before? It is a Club Penguin tattoo, and it has the little text box that says slay. I'm not as a big fan of the word slay, but oh my god, I need the Club Penguin tattoo.
I know, I love that.
Like, why have I not thought of that before? Like, Animal Crossing, I have an Animal Crossing tattoo. I need a Club Penguin one. I need a Minecraft one. They're the different phases of my life.
Yeah. Oh,
so, but that is such a good Club Penguin tattoo. Like, I actually want it. I probably am not going to get it, but I want it.
I just love that it reflects my altered mind. It's just,
yeah.
I actually did not expect this to happen.
No. So, yeah, there's my sheesh meme for the 2 weeks. But make sure to let us know which meme you think is the sheeshiest. We've got a different one. My one entry is the first time we've had a not video one.
Yeah, I need to like think of that when I like things on Twitter now.
I know, I literally was like, oh my god, I have nothing but F1 memes. So I had to like scroll through my likes, and I was like, what is the last non-F1 meme I have liked? But yeah, watch me come back in a year and have a Club Penguin tattoo.
Honestly, I would rate that high.
But there we go, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you all have a lovely next 2 weeks. By the time we record the next episode, I would have been on holiday. I'll be 23.
Damn.
I don't know if you would have done anything, Chloe.
I've got another concert, but I think
ooh, save that for a topic.
Pretty much it. Yeah, maybe I'll talk about it in another episode, so I won't say anything.
Nice. Oh, well, I'm not going to forget this time, so as usual, make sure to, if you're listening on Spotify, check out us on YouTube and vice versa. Make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and then YouTube Shorts, and we will see you guys in another 2 weeks.
Yes, hope you enjoyed, guys.
Hey, see you later. Bye.
Bye.